Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia ingin memaklumkan bahawa terdapat 98 kes yang telah pulih dan dibenarkan discharge pada hari ini. Ini menjadikan jumlah kumulatif kes yang telah pulih sepenuhnya daripada jangkitan COVID-19 dan telah discharge daripada ward adalah sebanyak 3,295 kes. Sehingga 20 April 2020 jam 12.30 hari ini, terdapat 36 kes baru yang telah dilaporkan. Ini menjadikan jumlah kes positif COVID-19 di Malaysia adalah sebanyak 5,425. Sukacita dimaklumkan daripada maklumat terkini yang telah dilaporkan ke CPRC Kebangsaan, tiada sebarang kes kematian yang
Okay guys, great news. So as we just heard from the Health Director General, there was only 36 new cases of COVID-19 today and 0 deaths. So let's just hope that slowly but surely we continue to bring the number of active cases down and that we will be able to prevent more further deaths moving forward, or at the very least keep the number down to a minimum. Okay, now so let's get on with today's question and answer. We will start with Aaron Wee. He was the one who asked about the X1 and Countryman. So he just said, thanks for the input on the X1 and Countryman. You mentioned the previous gen X1 X-Drive diesel. Can you elaborate more on the maintenance part? I mean, with our diesel quality, I saw lots of Mercedes and BMW with diesel engine puffing out lots of black smoke. Yeah, you see, the thing is that for many years, our market, we've had to live with bad diesel. All right, and it's only the recent like 2-3 years that we have the option of fueling up our cars with Euro 5 diesel. But before that, it was just that Euro 2M crap. Okay, that we have been made to suffer with for all too long. So maintenance part, well, the thing about diesel engines is that because of the high compression, a diesel engine is subject to a higher levels of mechanical stress compared to the petrol engine. That's why that's why a diesel engine block is usually made to be heavier than a petrol block because it needs to be stronger. All right, and that's the reason why dynamically very often we find that cars with diesel engines don't handle as well as their petrol counterparts. That's one. But with diesel engines, there are also fewer components. You don't have spark plugs, for example. You don't have ignition coils. So that's a couple of less things there to fail. But otherwise, just like what we would advise if you buy a petrol car, be sure to service the car regularly. And of course, now in the case you are buying a used diesel and a car, be sure that the car has proper service records. All right, and of course, I think for all these cars that have been running for Euro 2M fuel for so long, right? You will have to be prepared to change the injectors. Okay, but otherwise, the benefits of driving a diesel engine, you get fantastic torque, you get fantastic fuel consumption. In the case of bigger SUVs such as the X3, X5, that kind of size, you get better, far more effortless pulling power. So that's why I always argue, right, for big heavy vehicles such as the Innova, or even to a certain extent cars like the Aurizn and the Rush, those really should come with high torque, low power diesel engines that allow them to be able to generate smooth progress. That way you don't have to work the engine so hard in order to get it going, in order to get it going, to not to like race or to what, but so that you are able to keep up with traffic. That's it. Okay, Chandra Segran on my Renault Megane RS walk around video, he just comments, yeah, seriously, it's worth buying the manual. Yeah, I mean, the Megane RS, right? You compare it with the Golf R, the Civic Type R. I believe it's not as fast point to point, but there is more edge to its character in a way that the Golf R and the Civic Type R don't offer. Okay, it is a car that demands a compromise from the driver, but you know, as you explore the car, as you get to know the car, you slowly unearth bits of its talent. I mean, I think I made this example. When you drive a Golf R around Sepang, for example, chances are within 2 laps, you are already very near the best of what you can do with that car. Whereas with the Megane RS, your first lap is going to be like crap. But as you slowly go lap by lap, you progressively learn the car, get to know the car, slowly improve yourself, and it is that progression to achieve the best of what the car is able to offer with your skill set, that becomes a journey for you. That is something that it's like you improve your driving together with the car. Okay, PH Cheng asks, what engine oil have I been using on the Waja? Because for the past 12 years, I've mostly sent the Waja back to Proton Service Center. Mostly it has been using Petronas Syntium 1000, okay, fully synthetic oil. A couple of times I also used Shell Helix, but those were what you call it, event door gives, so got all used only lah. All right, but so far mostly it's been these two types of oil. Next oil change, I may consider to get cam loop for the car, but yeah, it's been mostly Petronas or Shell. Mock Charlie, in your opinion, which is the most reliable 3 Series out there right now? Looking for a 2.0 to make it a daily driver. Second-hand Recon one, make 2015 onwards. 2015 onwards is definitely the F30, and well, if of course you have the budget, go for the G20, go for it. That's all new. But if you're really looking at the used one, F30, go for the one with the newer engine. Go for the facelift, the one with the B14 engine, be it the 320i or the 330i. The 330e is a bit of hit and miss. Some people say it's some owners have problem-free experience. Others keep going in and out of the service center. So I would say take your time and hunt for a good 320i or a 330i. If you are game for diesel engine, the 320d works just as well. Mark Francis, in response to my Audi A6 hybrid video with Tana, so yeah, stage 2 map on mine as well. Love it, especially uphill. Thanks Mike Yap. So yeah, this is one happy owner of the A6 hybrid. Vincent Ong, I'm looking for any car around 10,000 ringgit, a second hand will use for nearby market trip. What do you think will be a good option? When you talk about below 10k, right, first car I always think of would be the BMW E34 or the E36. But if you're just only looking for a nearby market trip, then I wouldn't point you that way, because BMWs are really not suitable for short distance drive like that. For short distance drive, of course, you're still always better off with a local car or a Japanese car. Below 10,000 ringgit, you can consider the Waja. You can consider maybe the Saga FL, all right, the 2010 car thereabouts, all right. A Kalisa is not bad, but I don't think you can get a Kalisa for 10k. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of Corolla AE101 or AE111 going for less than 10,000 ringgit. So if you're game for it, that is something to consider. Alright, a very reliable cars, very well engineered. Particularly the AE101, which is the older model. The AE111 is an evolution of the AE101, and the AE101 was, according to Uncle Chips, right? He once owned one of these cars. He told me that that car was built almost to a Lexus level kind of quality. The AE111 was a bit more of a cost optimized evolution from the AE101. Becky, what are your thoughts about Haval cars, H1 and H2? I remember driving the H1 once upon a time, a few years back. The interior is really not appealing at all. The ergonomics is utterly comical. I can't get a good seating position out of it, and quality is not impressive. If you're looking at Haval, if you're thinking of the H5, that one is still, you can consider that as a for rough use kind of car. Let's say like to drive to the construction yard, because the car does feel a bit hardy. It's a leather frame model, but that's not in your consideration. Okay, I don't know. Thus far, there is nothing in those cars that would persuade me to want to part with. What I'm looking at 30,000-40,000 ringgit for 2-year-old units. No lah, no. Tam Chang Shing, Myvi 1.3x ni versus Bezza 1.3x, mana lagi berbaloi dan okey, harga lebih kurang sama. It's commenting on my ini komen pada video bahasa Melayu saya, okay, review Perodua Myvi. Pendapat saya antara Myvi dengan Bezza, Myvi. Sungguh pun Myvi 1.3 kelengkapannya lebih kurang, tapi ianya kenderaan dari segmen yang lebih atas, means maksudnya refinement dia adalah jauh lebih baik daripada Bezza. Sensasi pemanduannya lebih sedap. Jika bawa outstation pun anda rasa lebih tenang. Cuma jika anda perlu, betul-betul perlu boot besar Bezza tu, kau beli Bezza. Tapi kalau tidak, untuk sebarang kegunaan yang lain, saya rasa Myvi jauh lebih berbaloi. Kishan Menon, thoughts on 06 to 07 BMW 525 CBU 2.5. 0607, that would be the E60, but let me just quickly check, when did they switch over from the M54 to the N52 engine? It's 05. So if you're looking at 0607, it would be the newer N52 engine. E60 for me, at that age, I think that's still the pre-facelift. The iDrive sucks. You have to watch out for problems with the active steering. The engine itself is fine. It's the N52 engine. Generally reliable, but do watch out for oil consumption, piston ring issue. So of course, as always, have the car checked. Go to any of our 42 inspection centers. Have it looked through. Okay, so the E60 525, it's not a problem-free car, but good thing is that the issues that this car faces, they are all generally the same, and not at all difficult to troubleshoot if you have any issues. Of course, as always, look for one with a good service record. Make sure that the receipts over at the minimum the last 5 years have been accounted for, and that car should be pretty. That car should, at least you know what are the things that will need to change eventually, and should be pretty alright. And I think 0607 E60 is not expensive at all now. Let's have a check at the value. Now, of course, amongst all the E60 variants, the 525 will still command the best value, but you're looking at what, 30k to 36k, 25. Okay, I'm seeing them go as low as 25. Actually, why not consider the 530i? 530i, you get it's around the same price. Yes, every year you pay extra road tax, but what, it's 2.5 is 900, 3.0 is 2001, so there's extra 1,002 a year. But you look at it the other way, maintenance wise, everything else between the 525 and the 530, because it is the same engine family, right? There is not much difference in terms of the maintenance one. So your only real excess in term cost excess when you go from a 525 to a 530, you're looking at just your annual road tax. That's it, nothing else. Let's see, Jason, thank you for answering my question. Glad to hear there's an A6 hybrid community ready to do sharing and assistance. Start shopping around, test drive the car, see how it goes. Mark adds a comment. Can consider asking our A6 club members if any are selling, as they tend to maintain well and don't tamper with meter. Peter says, good luck burning a hole. Yeah, well, let's be clear on this. No car out there is problem free. The A6 hybrid, for all of Tana's testimony in my previous video, right, is a complex vehicle. So you have to be prepared that it's not like maintaining a Toyota. Okay, there are things that you need to be proactive, you need to look into, and you need to actively check to see to stay ahead of the curve, so called, right? Yeah, but the other thing is that it's good when you are buying all these Continental cars to involve yourself in a community, be it Facebook group, WhatsApp chat group, because that way, right, when you face an issue, you can just ping your group, and 10 other people probably have faced the same thing before, and you know roughly what needs to be done. You see, the thing about these Continental cars and my experience with my E39 is that generally the issues will happen, things will happen, but they are usually very uniform kind of issues. One, if something that you kena, chances are 10 other fellas have kena before, and the fix is already there. Somebody out there knows how to fix it. You just need to know somebody else who has experienced the problem and will connect you to the right person to fix it. Chai Chung Sang says, actually estimated how much do we need to spend a month owning a 2017 GTR? I'm sure installments you can calculate yourself. Fuel consumption won't be light. As for servicing cost, I'm not sure about this, but I do hear that you need to service the car at what, 3 or 4,000 and most 5,000 kilometer intervals, because bear in mind the base car, this was engined in 2007, and from a 3.8 liter engine at that time, the GTR actually squeezes out very high specific output. Because think of it, the GTR at that time when it first came out, it murdered, you know, all the Ferraris and Lambos of its year. So with a smaller engine, and the only and inevitably when you squeeze a small engine to high outputs, something gives, and that something comes in the form that you would require a bit more frequent scheduled maintenance of the car. But as for are there major issues of the car, not really heard of it, but I don't think it's a cheap car to maintain month to month. Wong Tan Kim, your video is not impressive, many areas to improve. How about you start your YouTube channel, you create your videos, I'll watch your videos and I'll learn from you. Alexander Liu, would you recommend a fresh grad to get an Asia manual for mod as a second car, currently owning an old Vios as a commute car? Brian Chang says, mod a Proton, not an Asia. It doesn't handle well and rides horribly. For that price, you can get a Satria Neo, Inspira manual, or a Preve manual. How much does an Azia cost? The cheapest Azia that I see listed now is 7,500, and that's a 2016 car. Wow! So the average value of an Azia 1 manual starts at 15,000 lah. What else can you get for 15,000? You can get a lot for 15,000. But yeah, Brian is right actually. You're better if you're looking for a car to play mods, right? You're really better off getting a new Preve manual can get for the price of an Azia. Probably, but the Preve manual is a heavy car, and it's an underpowered car. So Satria Neo is a better car, it's a better starting point. Or if you really want a car to mod for cheaps, get a Vira or a Satria or a Putra. Putra is not cheap. But yeah, get a no lah. The Azia is good as a workhorse, but that's not a car I buy for modification. No. Justin Go, what is your opinion about X4, XC60 and Q5 in terms of value for money, personal usage for long period? These are 3 shortlisted model, or any suggestion. Now, in your context, I assume you are talking brand new. And if you are talking brand new, then you can't beat the XC60 for value for money. And even if you take away the T8, and even if you look at the supposedly Kosong T5, it's still the better value for money package in this trio. Yeah, so this is assuming you're talking brand new. This is an easy decision, XC60 for me. And Kevin, okay, so this is a response to my A6 hybrid video yesterday. So Kevin says he's sharing his issues with his A6 hybrid before this. We were the first few owners of the A6 hybrid when it was launched, and this happened within the first 2 years of ownership. Number one, fit and finish had issues. Door had trouble latching, had to tow it as the safety feature prevented the car from driving to the workshop. One, motor failure while outstation, constant return to workshop error. Almost every 3 to 4 weeks it was back at the workshop. The car was mostly driver driven and not pushed hard, so it was a cause for concern. The Audi dealer at the time had bad after sales support for servicing and maintenance of the car, in my opinion, compared to BMW and Mercedes. Some of the parts that failed required it to be shipped from Germany, so the car just sat at the workshop. We think it was definitely a lemon due to so much error and had heard Audi Malaysia might buy back a couple of cars as some owner had experienced worse problem. The after sales support was so bad that we brought a legal issue with them and eventually reached a settlement. Overall, was a nightmare to own the car. Glad it was gone. From this experience, we stopped buying Audis anymore. We had Audis, but this problem caused us to lose faith in Audi Malaysia. So this is another customer testimony. All right, and so for Jason, this is really something for you to consider. Now, what I have yesterday's video was Tana's viewpoint. He has a sample size of 200 owners, which largely had problem-free experience. Now we have this gentleman here who says that his car has this much problems. Then what you have here is that you have a car that is hit and miss law. Some owners have no issues with the car, like Mark Francis, who added on, say that he used his for 2 years with no issues, even with a stage 2 map. So what I would say is, this is a car, this A6 hybrid is not a car that is going to be as painless to own as a Vios or a City. But if you do put your money down on this car, if you do go for this car, you have to be prepared. One, you need to establish a support group, get to know at least a few fellow A6 hybrid owners. That way, if things go wrong, you have a group of people to help you troubleshoot. That's one. Second thing is know the right mechanics who have had good experience in servicing and maintaining an A6 hybrid. Thirdly, like what Kevin here pointed out, some of these parts associated with this car, because you see, globally, Audi only ever made 4,000 A6 hybrids, and more than 2,000 of them are in Malaysia. Why this is so? It's because of our taxation system, that somehow we have an A6, a brand new Audi A6 sold for the price of a C-Class 3 Series. All right, that's why people snap them up, and that's why Malaysia had half the world's A6 hybrid population. So really, I wouldn't stop you from going for the car, but if you want it, there's homework to be done. So Andre Ng replaced our Zafiro 2.0 with a Mercedes E240. Honestly, it's still a V6, not something fresh for us considering the smoothness and low noise levels are still V6 levels. And the seat height, the headroom is actually very reminiscent to the Zafiro. Anyway, sometimes I felt that when you have driven a V6 for too long, you really feel you want a V8 to feel something different. Yeah, I suppose so. So have you hunted for your V8 yet? Sean Lowe, he's commenting on my 2012 Ford Mondeo used car walk around. He's waiting for the newer model used car to be coming in a few more years. Don't wait. There is one listed for 75k right now. If you take a loan, it's like buying a Vios or a City. Okay, Mohammad Najib. Can the Triton be a comfortable family car, especially for long distance driving, compared to similarly priced alternatives like the Proton X70? Well, the Triton, it's a very comfortable family car if you take it in the context of a pickup truck. But of course, if you compare it with cars like the X70, dedicated, on-road cars like the X70 or CX-5 or the CR-V, then no, it will not be as comfortable or as refined. But in the context of a pickup truck, the Triton to me is impressively refined. Okay, Leong is commenting on the LED. Regarding the LED replacement for the halogen bulb, there won't be any issue as long as it's the same voltage spec. Most, if not all, LED has driver or load resistors to ensure that the LEDs are able to function correctly. It is never advisable to change the bulb type, H1 to H7 or HID, as the factory fitted reflectors are designed for one specific type only. Changing to a different type would cause the lights to blind the oncoming vehicles. Also, majority of the affordable LED replacement bulbs for the headlights do not give proper illumination on the road. So my view is, if your car is designed with halogen, stick with halogen. Stick with the original bulb type that your headlight unit is designed for. Ada apa dengan kereta? I choose Preve with black roof. Not that big a fan of the black roof finish on the Preve, to be honest. Okay, Balvin Chua, I want to hear your thoughts about getting a Mini Cooper S 2016 B48 engine recon from UK as a daily drive. Is 140k a bit too much for a 4-year-old recon Mini? 140k, well, I checked with our Northern Clubhouse, dropped the top, and they told me that they have 2 units in stock, but you wouldn't be able to get it with at 140k lah. Okay, it's you're looking, there's one unit asking for 149, which is just a bit over your budget, and there's another unit 2016 looking for 160,000. Now I'm looking online, I'm seeing 3 examples going for your budget, but they are not recon, they are used local spec. So with your budget, if you want recon, you have to pay a bit more. Used local spec, well, it's about 130. Those would be a bit more within your grasp. Okay, let's see. Michael Chan, what do you think about Ford Mustang 2.3 EcoBoost? There's a lot of them going between 230 to 250k. I found a local drive review on its performance. That's weird. Well, I remember when I was in car list, my colleagues actually test drove the car. So I'm just going to reply to the comment for you. Okay. Hi Con, what do you think about the Satria GTI? Good buy in the 15,000-ish range. Do you have another car? Because you buy a Satria GTI, if it's an original Satria GTI at 15,000, I don't think they go for that cheap. Okay, firstly, be careful when you shop. A lot of GTS out there were previously converted from 1.3s or 1.5s or 1.6. So those if they were converted, be sure that they are endorsed conversions, and be sure you are aware of it lah. Okay, that's one. And also, if you are really buying a GTI, I hope you have a spare car, because these things get stolen pretty often, and you won't want to go anywhere with the car where you can't park it where you can see it. So if let's say like you are going to your nearby mamak and you can park in front of the mamak and have your kopi tarik, that's okay. But if you are going to a parking lot and you are going 10 floors up for a meeting, you better have another car to serve your purpose. Okay, and I don't think you can get a good condition car for as low as 15,000 ringgit. Okay, so that's all the comments I have for today's videos. So everybody, as usual, the usual message: stay home, stay safe. I'll see you for the next video. All right, cheers.